Let's move on and talk to Macy in New York.
Hey, Macy, how's it going?
I think that's our second New Yorker today. Let me see if I can pull Macy up.
Hi.
There we go. Hey, you're live with Eric and Ethan.
How are you, Eric and Ethan?
Doing well. What did you want to talk about today?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank you, Eric and Zila. You guys have really given me just a space and the chance to question some of my beliefs, which I think is really awesome. So thank you so much. And thank you to Mandisa, because I'm a Black non-believer, and she's really
nice.
Great.
Yeah.
Good, love that.
So I wanted to get into my question about mental health, religion, and existentialism. And essentially, like,
that's my jammy jams. Let's do it.
Yeah, but it's like the nexus of these three, I think. So it's essentially like I used to believe in hellfire, and a lot of my motivation for going to church and following the rituals and whatever it was this fear that God was going to burn me. But over time, I realized that every church was condemning the other church to hell. Like the Seventh Day think, Anyway, let me not generalize all Seventh Days, but you know what I mean. If you don't follow some aspect of the religion, you're
totally
going to
understood.
be a version of hell. So,
Ethan, do you remember that?
Yeah. So that for me,
I don't, unfortunately.
No?
The fear. Sorry, the fear of hell.
Oh, no. The looking at other churches and, they're not Christians. No. They don't have it right. Those Catholics, they're worshiping false idols. And, those, or what was it? You can't get into.
Pray on Saturday, the Sabbath, right?
So I was never one of those no true Christian people. I was more like, I wasn't heavily into Christianity, and I'm sure many would say I wasn't a true Christian. Most of my indoctrination was very conservative political. So for me, it was much easier for me to give up my belief in God than give up my conservative Republican stripes. Like that took time and hard work.
Oh, sorry about that.
So there's that.
Okay, go ahead.
There's that aspect where everyone thinks the next person the other church is going to hell. My church thinks a lot of other churches are going to hell.
Sure.
And so at that point, it made hell kind of meaningless to me. And so I'm at this point where I'm not so much into the health stuff. I'm not so much into the ritual. I go when I want to go and when I'm able to. But my big question is I've come across a lot of theists like myself who say, I experience mental health issues. I go through major depressive disorder, but the only thing that's keeping me alive, I know the scripture says this and this and this. I imagine myself like Job fighting against this mental health issues, and God wants me to win them, And so it's like, even though the logic might make sense as to why someone should not be so religious or be a theist, how do you deal with that existential piece, is my question, without affecting people's mental health? Because I've heard several people were like, I'm going through this really tough time and I feel suicidal, but I would never do it because I'm afraid of hell, because I'm afraid of this, So how do you address that in a way that is helpful? Yeah.
I'm so glad you called this weekend. You're talking to two people who openly talk about mental health and what we go through as well. So you called on a great weekend. Ethan, did you want to go first or do you want me to?
No, please.
Okay. So you talk about purpose. You mentioned purpose, and I know it talks about purpose in the call notes. So I'm going to go with that. The idea that you have a purpose ascribed to you, and that is super important. I really want to challenge that. So there are plenty of societies where parents arrange marriages for their children, and that is your purpose. You are given that purpose, and you have to marry someone. This idea of being married for love is something new. If you were assigned a spouse to marry, somebody to marry that you didn't know or didn't like, would you consider that your purpose? Would you find that meaningful?
Well, it depends. I mean, I think there are many ways that parents can communicate that. If it's obviously in a very dictatorial fashion, but if you believe that there's something greater that's supposed to be achieved once you marry this person, like maybe it will help keep your family safe, or some nations will unite and the wars will stop, or something. You know what I mean? It depends.
Yeah. In this example, the higher power is your parents. They're the ones that are above you, that are making the decision for you. You know, I mean,
right. But the thing is, the thing is, like, I'm not so sure if maybe a heaven might exist, but not a hell.
Okay, well, I mean, we can get to the heaven and hell part, you know, but I definitely kind of want to drill down a bit on the purpose part, because I think we can, you know, flesh this out just a little bit more. I really think
the purpose part, right? What is the purpose of me following God? Isn't the purpose for me to get to heaven and not hell?
The idea of purpose at all, right? What is purpose? It's your sense of what you should be doing, what your, you know, the idea that there is cosmic purpose, that there's some grand plan that you're a part of. I liken it to being told, hey, you're going to win the lottery at the end of the week. The problem is everyone's racking up debt, assuming they're going to win the lottery. That's the issue. And so, you know, and on Friday, when you don't make the money, when you don't get the money, you're upset because it's like, God, I was supposed to get this, right? I don't think they ever had a heaven to give you in the first place.
Well, and I guess you say I'm one of the lucky ones, because I know a lot of people struggle with hell and heaven, especially when they come out of religion. For me, it was a huge, like, relief, like a weight off my shoulders. Like, I don't think heaven and hell exists anymore. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to worry about my life right now and live my life to the fullest. So why focus so much on heaven or hell?
Well, on that point, then, okay, so then where does someone find the meaning? Let's say your whole meaning was, I'm following these rules because there's some predetermined end that is supposed to be glorious and I'm going to be singing, or I don't know, however people picture their heavens in different denominations, but, you know, sure. This is why I'm following these rules. This is why I exist, pretty much, you know.
Well, I think you deciding that for yourself is incredibly powerful. You know, I think I was talking to my roommate, Holy Kool-Aid, at one point, and he brought up that there's this little fish, and what it does is it spends its life building a nest out of rocks. And every time the tide goes in and out, it messes up its little nest. And so it goes and it picks up each little rock by its mouth, using its mouth, and builds this little nest, all with the intent of someday getting laid and then dying. Right. And if it did that thing, I assume that fish is happy as hell, as much as a fish can be happy. I mean, it doesn't matter what your purpose is, but setting it out for yourself.
But Eric, right? But Eric, right? Some people might enjoy being servile, I think.
Sure.
Like having this,
what?
You know, and
servile.
If you have to set it for yourself, it implies some sort of, like, not servile. I think that's a very bad way of putting it, but like you're serving this being that you have no control over. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, then do what we're doing
for myself.
Well, then do what we're doing. Support a nonprofit. There are so many organizations that have actual, work that they're doing to make this world a better place, to make it more comfortable, to get rid of disease and starvation, to help one another. It is snowing, and I'm enjoying the snow, and yet I know that now I'm just really thinking about it. There are homeless people here in Austin. I bet they're not enjoying the snow.
Oh.
I think
you could consider serving people in the world as like a kind of a purpose.
Wouldn't you consider that to be a pretty damn good purpose?
I would, but I just think it's not as intense as the religious one. At least the one I was raised in, fundamentalist Pentecostalism. Like that is very intense. It's like God is always waiting to condemn you.
Yeah, but I agree with Ethan. I know Ethan's waiting to talk, so I'll let him go, but I just wanted to echo what Ethan said first. Ethan, I nailed it for me. And I used to have this fear that I'm going to meet the one and I'm going to mess it up. And then I'm boned. I met the one and I messed it up, and that was the one person put on earth for me. And I hit a point where I was in a terrible breakup, and I thought just that. And realizing that there's not a one person helped a lot.
Same. And I think the best meaning and you can get out of life is helping other people. While on one end, I want to say, hey, don't spend so much time worrying about God, even though I'm sitting here, on a show talking about God. But at the same time, focus on everything you have. Like, start looking at everything going on right now, your family, your friends, the people you talk to. Like, if you can, put that energy into helping the people around you, because this world is a great place. It's got its setbacks. There are problems, but if we just all loved each other, not to sound too hippy-dippy, but if we just loved each other a little bit more, dude, we could make this world way better.
But Ethan, it doesn't sound as great as heaven, does it?
Why not? So to me, that sounds better. Knowing, like, if I die, knowing that I made a positive impact on people's life. Or for instance, like on my personal Facebook, I upload goofy dance videos because I like making people laugh. Like, knowing that I have been able to take away people's mental pain just for a moment, that is great. Like, that is one of the greatest feelings you can ever feel, in my opinion, and far more powerful than God. Taking away other people's pain. That should be enough.
I mean, it sounds very much like being upset that you didn't get the $1 million on Friday. I mean,
yeah,
it's understandable, but we got to move past it. Right. What is it? 1 Corinthians 13:11. I know it sucks to quote, but it was a good quote. And that is, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child. I walked, thought, and spoke, I believe, like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. We need to put it away.
You're literally putting away the thing that he's defending. That's funny.
Well, but I think it's absolutely fair. I thought as a child, it's time to put away childish things, especially when we have a world with people in need, where we can help each other, where we can actually see the work that we're doing, and we can be a part of making that world a better place.
Okay. I hear you. Thank you so much. You guys have given me a lot to think about. Thank you.
Good. Thank you for calling, Macy.
Take care.
You have a good day too.
I liked her.
Yeah,
it's just a damn Ethan. You were just attracting good people today, man. I'm stoked,
dude. These are the people I like talking to. Like, I don't like arguing or yelling. Like, I just want to have friendly conversations with other people and understand why they believe what they believe.
You, sir, have just a calming effect on me that I really appreciate. You're just keeping me super, super level and chill. So before we move on to the next call, it's already 2/3 of the way through the episode.
Oh,
can you freaking believe how quickly that came?
I know, it's flying. I've been freaking out for like 2 weeks. Like, oh my God. And when you and V were giving that introduction for me at the end of the episode last week, I was literally like, oh my God. Like, I was jumping up and down. I was like, I can't actually believe this is happening.
And yet you have amazing people on your show. You do a call-in show. You have the Ethan and Jenna show. You have all of these different projects that you're a part of. And the great thing is you keep doing this, and I'm sure people are having the exact same reaction meeting you.
I hope so. And, if I could, to the audience, one of the reasons I waited so long is because I'm like, you hear people like Eric and V and Jenna talk, and you're like, these people are so knowledgeable, so smart. I can't do what they can do. Well, yes, you can, and you can do it in your own way. You don't have to, one of my first videos, I tried emulating other YouTubers, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to be me on camera. We need more voices out there. So if you can be a voice, don't ever think you don't know enough. You can learn, you can progress, but your voice does matter.
That's right. That's right. And we are a growing community. It's not like, we have so much Talk Heathen content that we're going to fill 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No, there's plenty of room for all of us. Come and join us. That said, even if you don't want to be in front of a camera, like our amazing crew. There are tons of ways to help. Hey, amazing crew. You brought this on yourself. Thank you. Okay, so we're just having way too much fun. People are like, get to the damn calls. Let me thank our top 5 patrons first.
My bad. I have a
dude.
tendency to my ADHD sends me in a million routes, so I have a tendency to get off topic all the time.
Dude, we're good, man. I'm having fun. But I want to thank our top 5 patrons because it is incredibly meaningful. I just refreshed the page, and so I want to thank Eric Tweet, Desert Heathen, Bethany P, Jay Friedman, and Ward Knipling. And thank you. And to everyone else who is supporting us, thank you so much. It is your donations that keep us going. But, this week in particular, look, we set out to try and raise 10 grand for Black non-believers, and we are so far behind that goal. So if you're watching right now, there's a donate link above the live chat. Please, $1, $5, it helps.
And again, really if you can't donate, share it on your page, on Twitter. Yes. Get the word out, because we know not everyone is in a position to be able to donate right now, but every little thing makes a difference. So if you can, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Every little bit helps.
Absolutely. All righty. That said, you ready to move into the next call?
Yes, I am.